Good evening and welcome to Crawley Borough Council's Cabinet of the 12th of March 2025. I am Councillor Michael Jones, Leader of the Council and Chair of the Cabinet. There are no scheduled fire drills tonight, so in the event of the fire alarm sounding, please leave the building via the main spiral staircase and through the main reception doors. Once outside, please turn left and make your way to the fire assembly point located beyond the multi-storey car park on Exchange Road. If you are unable to use the stairs, please wait in the council chamber and you'll be guided by a member of the staff to the evacuation lift. This meeting is being live streamed via the council's YouTube channel. Please note there is a no comments function available as part of this webcasting. The council is the data controller and will retain the data collected during this webcast. This will be done so in accordance with the council's published data retention policy. Any members of the public seated in the public gallery should be aware that by entering the chamber, they're consenting to their image being captured by the automated camera system. Recordings will be used for webcasting and/or training purposes. Councillors are reminded to take note of what is displayed on the screens in the room, as this shows what is being recorded and webcast. Cameras are currently set to capture you in seated positions, so please remain seated when speaking. You can request to speak as usual in committees by raising your hand. To speak by pressing the button with the face on it, and the microphone will go green when you're live. We will now commence with apologies for absence. Have we received any apologies for absence? No? Thank you. Disclosures of interest. Does any member have any disclosures of interest? No? Thank you. Minutes. Now we come to the minutes of the meetings held on the 5th of February. Does the Cabinet agree that the minutes are an accurate record of the meetings? Does that agree? Thank you. I'm looking across and I don't believe there are many members of the public present, so we will move on from that item. Item 5 is further notice of intention to conduct business in private and notification of any representations. Please can I ask the monitoring officer to confirm if you've received any notifications? Thank you. Item 6, which is matters referred to the Cabinet and any report from the Chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Commission. Just want to welcome Councillor Marion Ayling to the meeting. As normal, Councillor Ayling, I'll bring you in during each item that the Commission considered. So we will start with item 7, which is considering the Housing Compliance Policies Report. Councillor Irvine to present.
Thank you, Chair, and apologies first of all if anyone was at the Overview and Scrutiny Commission on Monday night and has heard some of what I'm going to say before, but anyway. As you know, Chair, Crawley Homes are undergoing a programme of committing all their policies to paper. This is these are the latest ones, and I assure you that there will be others coming in the not too distant future. And the purpose is to comply with housing regulation and also to make sure that everyone concerned, staff, tenants, contractors, have got access to readily available policies which can be amended as time goes by. There's 3 tonight. We considered them all together the other night at the Overview and Scrutiny Commission. But I want to just say that these, in my mind anyway, these policies are more important than, well, possibly more important than some of the others, important though they all are, because they do concern safety and in particular fire safety, and that's why I think it was good that we had a very good discussion about this at the Overview and Scrutiny Commission the other night. And with that, Chair, I really don't think I've got anything to add except that, as I said the other night, I am a lay person, but I have read the policies several times and they do seem to me to be absolutely fit for purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Irvine. I will now bring in Councillor Ayling to present the Commission's comments.
Thank you, Chair. The Commission considered report CH214 of the head of Crawley Homes. I'm not going to read out all the comments as they have been published in the Cabinet supplementary agenda. I intend to focus and sum up the key points. Confirmation was provided regarding compliance and risk management. This is done by the service area, senior management team and by the internal audit. Discussions took place about how risk is monitored, especially fire safety in hostels. Common areas were regularly inspected based on the level of risk and reinforcement carried out when necessary. Clarification was sought on information within the fire risk assessor's action risk timescale table. It was agreed that further information would be provided to clarify how risks were identified. It was suggested that there should be a separate e-bike policy, as having a combination within one policy may increase the risk due to lack of understanding. However, it was highlighted that the risk remained the same, which was the battery. An amendment to the policy title was proposed for lithium-ion battery-operated devices with further information on the individual mobility device as required. Further communication on the policies will take place through different media. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ayling. I just want to welcome Councillor Mr. and Mrs. Mullins to the meeting. Just to check, you haven't got any disclosures of interest? No. Thanks very much. I'll now open the debate for other cabinet members. Would anyone like to say anything on the policies? I'll come back to you in to Councillor Irvine if I don't see anyone else. So, Councillor Irvine, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Chair, that we did, as I said before, have a very good discussion the other night at the Overview and Scrutiny Commission about these policies. A number of very useful and constructive comments and suggestions were made, and we are happy to take those on board, and they will be incorporated into the policy in due course.
Yeah, thanks. I also agree it was a good discussion at the Commission on Monday night. And I think it's always of benefit to have people looking at these things with a fresh eye, I think, just because there's often things that, even if one considers one's been through it with a fine-tooth comb, that, you know, someone with a slightly different perspective might identify. So I think I'm not seeing anyone indicating. So I mean, regular viewers of our cabinet meetings will know, as Councillor Irvine alluded to, that we've had a range of these policies coming through in the past few meetings, and I think this shows two things really. The first is it shows our commitment as a social landlord to our tenants, a large social landlord, and also it continues to demonstrate to not just the public, our tenants, but to the regulator that we are striving to achieve the best standards in everything that we do. So there may have been a lot of these policies coming through, but I think they've all been valuable, and it's good actually to just consider all these different areas just to show what a potentially challenging and complex thing it is being a social landlord. But anyway. On that note, I believe everyone's spoken, so who wanted to. So I'm going to move that the Cabinet approves the recommendations as set out in 2.2 on page 15 of the agenda pack. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Irvine. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you. We will move on to consider the review of the Crawley Borough Council National and Local List of Validation Requirements report. Councillor Nawaz to present.
Thank you, Chair. As we all know, we need to have an updated national and local list for validation requirements. And I'm here very pleased to introduce this report, which seeks Cabinet approval for an updated national and local list for planning applicants. This list outlines the validation requirements for planning applications, ensuring submissions meet both national policies and the Crawley local plan. Following the adoption of the new local plan 2023-2040 in October 2024 and the latest updates to National Planning Policy Framework, the Local Planning Authority has reviewed and revised the list. The updated version detailed in Appendix A provides clear guidance on necessary documents for valid applications. This local and national list has been subject of public consultation. A 5-week public consultation was conducted with feedback from stakeholders and statutory consultees incorporated where appropriate, which are present in Appendix B of this report. The report recommends Cabinet approval for the updated list and delegation arrangements for the future updates to the Head of Planning and Economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Nawaz. I'll now open the debate for other Cabinet members. No, I think this is probably going to be quite a straightforward one. As you've indicated, Councillor Nawaz, this is the list of all the evidence that we require in order to process our planning formalities at the council. So possibly not one to stir the passions of, but very important nonetheless in order that we enforce everything correctly. So I'm not seeing anyone else speaking. I'm going to move to the recommendation, and unless you want to say anything else. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to say, as you rightly said, it is quite important to have this in place to protect our council and protect our town against any unwanted developments, and also keeping our residents and the developers in line with the valid requirements ready for them for the future applications. We all want to grow our town, but we're having this in place legally, which make us compliant and ready for any application. So I think it's important to have this technical document, but it's quite important one for our town. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. So on that note, I move that the Cabinet approves the recommendations as set out in 2.1 on page 73 of the agenda pack. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Nawaz. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you. We will now move on to consideration of the exempt items. Therefore, under section 100A, subsection 4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined, I should say, in Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Act, by virtue of the paragraph specified against the items. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you, Cabinet. The recording and the live stream will now finish, so I wish to thank anyone for watching, and I wish them a very pleasant evening.